fuck not having a piece of paper that you can see with your third eye. Fuck it, this will work. Bro, I felt so fucking good this morning, and then it started raining, and it wasn't supposed to rain this early. I felt like insane. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than like I didn't feel exceptionally good. I just felt like it was replicable. Like I took a break and then I came back and then I got it back up and working better than ever. Like it was like, oh my God, this is actually like different. This isn't just like a manic high that is gonna go away the second I walk away. This is like I see the thing that I saw like 2 years ago. I feel it again finally. Yeah. Anyways, this is
And it went away, or did it still there?
It went away, but it didn't go away because it's wrong. It just went away because it started raining, and now the Adderall crash kicked in, so I'm getting my ass kicked from two angles. I should still be able to work through it with the framework, but I haven't really been trying. I had to pick up Lexi and Gavin from school, and then I got home, and it was raining, and now I was talking to Lexi and Mother just now, so I just got distracted, but, the real test is to see does it work tomorrow. Can it go overnight? Anyways, this was one of the big things. This is huge, really. Look at this. Camera, you see it?
Unstable internet connection.
For fuck's sake, man. For fuck's sake.
I'm gonna just take a photo of it and send it.
Not really, man. Not really. Why? What's in a fucking video on Snapchat? Like we live in the year 2006. You recognize that piece of shit, don't you?
Yes.
Okay, well now look at this. This is nothing new, really. But it's the perfect way to visualize what's going on. It's like what I've been trying to say with words, but just drawn out. I mean, it's retardedly simple. It's like, obvious. Like so obvious. Something like literal child with Down syndrome could have seen, but, I think more than, linguistic metaphors than drawings, I guess. You see it, right? You see what that means?
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Yeah. Just like that. It's that simple. Pretty crazy stuff.
And so the bottom layer, go over the bottom layer and the middle layer again.
So, hold on. Let me get splunky a little bit. Like 8, maybe that's taking me down a little bit too. Dude, I did less Sub-Zero today. That was another huge thing. I did less Sub-Zero, like significantly. Like, in other words, I just went back to having 3 seconds max at a time. And basically the way I limited myself was doing 3 seconds of Sub-Zero every 10 minutes was like that was the most I could do. And I didn't do that. Like, my goal wasn't to do it every 10 minutes. The thing was just like every 10 minutes you can do it. And then I would typically go like 10 minutes without doing it. Sometimes I would go just an hour without doing it just because I didn't feel like it. But then the goal of this was basically just to be like, obviously the philosophy more is better is the most retarded philosophy you could ever apply to Sub-Zero. You learned that like 3 years ago, and yet you still do it like a fucking mongoloid. And so I was just like, okay, well, we're not doing that today. We're going. Yesterday was my use Sub-Zero as much as you possibly can, and it was absurd. I was using Like I would literally just sit there and do Sub-Zero for like 20 minutes straight, and I was just like, this isn't getting. There's nothing even changing. It's just like you reach a certain stage of lobotomy, and it's like you don't even go past it. You don't even get higher. You don't even get dumber. You reach a certain plateau of stupidity, and then just stay there. And more doesn't even make you more stupid. It just makes you more like tired, and not even tired because you don't use that tiredness to go to sleep. It's like it doesn't even apply to going to sleep. It's just like exhaustion, overburn as we'd call it. Anyways, the point is that basically it's just like all the positives of getting high you can find in like 6 seconds. All the negatives come after like the 9 second mark. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna allow myself to do 3 seconds every 10 minutes, and then I'm gonna try and find out what the right rhythm is. And the answer is there really is no right rhythm. You can't find it. It's every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, every hour. It's never gonna be like that. You just try and go, am I high right now? Yes. Okay, don't do more. Am I not high right now? Okay, do more. That's it. It's pretty much like that. You just want to go, you don't want to go, am I high enough? That's not a good question. That question will always lead you to, maybe I could get higher. That'll make me happier. No, no. If you're high, you're high enough. If you can feel, if you feel altered, if you feel your thoughts are altered, you're high enough. You don't want to get higher. And that philosophy worked
Is
really
it?
well.
Are you saying at the moment you realize I'm now just left the highest moment, or
No,
is it when you know it's like I'm not going to increase or decrease further from here?
no, neither. It's just the question is, am I high right now? And if the answer is no, you do more. If the answer is yes, you do not do more. So, like, in other words,
Mm.
used to, I would always ask myself, am I high enough? And the answer to that will always be no. I am not high enough.
Yeah.
Maybe I could get higher. Maybe getting higher will make me happier, and it never does. It just makes you feel worse, shittier. Or no, that's not necessarily true. The most frustrating part is that 1% of the time it would make you feel better, and then that 1% of the time um, lures you into doing it all the time. Even though that clearly turns your brain into fucking broccoli cheddar soup.
And of course,
Um,
those moments happen usually when you don't do it, and then you do it, and then that makes it that not happen when you do it again, and you search for something that's literally impossible to find.
exactly. And then yeah, that was another thing. It was like I was trying to find what's the right number, and then it was like it just was so clear to me. It's like, hey, fuck ass. The number changes based on what the last number was. So trying to say 3 seconds every 50 minutes. Well, guess what? If you do 3 seconds every 50 minutes for 3 days, well, then it's gonna take 4 seconds to get to that place where it was when you fucking made the framework. So it was basically just like literally just if you're high, if you think, am I right now? And the answer is yes, then you're high enough. You're more than high enough. You know that is as good as it gets. If you're a little loopy and you're not negatively affected, that's perfect. You do not want to get higher than that. The only thing you're going to get is negative effects. And that worked exceptionally well. Exceptionally well. I had a beautiful performance today. I think that was a part of it, a substantial part of it. Not a huge part of it or a majority of it, but I think that played a very, I almost said not huge and then huge refer. I think that did play a very substantial part, a nice third or fourth of the reason for why I did so good today. I took more Adderall at once than I typically do. Not that much more. I've taken this much before, but more than I was the last couple days. That's a partial reason. I've just been building up day after day after day. That's a partial reason. There are a couple more. Who cares? Point is, less Sub-Zero good. I will never be doing lots of Sub-Zero. I will never be thinking more is better with Sub-Zero ever again. Unless someone bashes my head in with a sledgehammer, which I'm sure they will in the next 2 weeks. Um, but as far as the pyramid goes, you were asking explain the bottom layer. So I'm gonna give oh Lord, I'm gonna give what may be the most important explanation ever. Jesus. I need to fucking do something. Take another Adderall or something before I delve into this. This is a huge, sprawling topic. But hey, I'd be on the
Um,
fucking
but
black.
for the
Good.
could you also just like label it and like take a photo of it so I can see it as you explain it?
Yeah. Do you want to just do a digital version so you can like maybe take notes as I talk. Take like just the brief important notes as I talk.
Like open up a drawing app.
Yeah, I would just open up a drawing app and then have like I'll tell you what each dot means, and then as I explain what each dot means, you just take like you put like 3 sentences like what you think it means.
All right. One second.
There's just one song that I listened to 3 years ago now, before I moved to Florida with our own money, before I moved in the apartment. It was like right that 2 weeks to a month before I moved, where everything was damn near perfect, other than the fact that I work. And it was just like the understanding of like, I'm moving now, my frameworks are working, like, I'm about to start making videos. This is extremely difficult. Maintaining these frameworks while working 8 hours a night is rough, but like I'm doing it somehow. I'm powering through this extreme circumstance. And it was just that feeling of like converting the tiredness into energy. It was like the direct, like, uh, how tired I was just became how powerful I was, because I was capable of just completely shit stomping it. And it was that intermingled, like, complete and total exhaustion with like manic rage driving me forward. Um, and that's what that song is tainted with. And it's the only song I've listened to over the past like 3 days, just over and over and over and over again. I probably listened to it about 8 hours every single day. I listened to it one night for 5 hours after I fell asleep. Um, it's a great song.
Have I heard it?
Probably. You probably didn't remember it. Um, it's called Useless by Omar Varela, or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't remember the artist's name. He doesn't make any other good songs from what I remember. I would have liked him if he did. But that one's good, man. It's like the closest modern day equivalent to Headlights, where it's just like every single part of that song is like mid, but because every single part of it is so perfectly attuned, it doesn't matter. It's like because like you could take any moment of Headlights and I'd be like, this is okay, but it's like the synthesis of all of that, all those
Yeah.
beautiful parts together makes Headlights just the perfect song. And this is the same thing, where it's like if you isolate any part of it, you'd be like, that's pretty good, but it's the fact that it maintains that foot on the gas of beauty and shifting through different forms of beauty the entire 3 minutes, which makes it so good. um but yeah, I've listened to like 24 hours of that within the last 3 or 4 days,
You
probably.
think it would sound good reversed?
I don't know. I thought that multiple times. I haven't tried it yet, but I think it's possible. It's one of those that it's a complete toss up, where it's like it just depends on like do the words he's using sound good in reverse? Because I'm sure the background would. The background kind of reminds me of some of our reverse songs, anyways. Where
Right.
he's got like his own voice, like singing in the background very faintly while he sings. It sounds like one of the ones where I've got it reversed and then the forward playing over it. I thought it'd be good, maybe like that. I wanted to try that, playing it both over and under itself. But
I'm still trying to get used to Audacity, but I know that Audacity you can just click on an audio file and just reverse it instantly. So that's extremely useful.
well, that is interesting. Jesus. I'm assuming it's just like super overcomplicated, right?
Um, as far as importing the audio, not really. I just don't know how to like it doesn't seem like the your ability to edit the music itself is that varied. You're very limited in that.
I would almost feel like Bandcamp or whatever would be better, where it's like just get someone that has like instruments built in that you can just fuck with.
Well, the thing is, okay, I think I tried what you're saying. I tried something called Cakewalk, which is made by Band Labs, and so it has a fun little feature where if you import audio, the audio does not play, and so I thought it was just so good that I wasn't going to use it. And so I went to Audacity instead.
Yeah. Disappointing.
So, I mean, I'm sure there's some way to make it work, but for some reason the demon is once again struck, and the ability to play audio aloud does not seem to be a feature, even though all the YouTube videos that were saying that's just how it works.
Has Ryan looked at it yet?
No, not yet, but
I would have him look at it. He's got autism be damned, that boy can compute.
yeah.
So I would ask him, but I'm sure it's something butt fuck retarded. I'm sure it's like, oh, you didn't turn on the setting that made it work? Oh, you didn't know that it was just 3 to 4 pages in, and you just had to click this to make anything do anything at all. You didn't know that? That wasn't obvious to you?
And then I go to Audacity, and all I do is import audio, and then I click play, and I hear audio. I'm like, that's how that's supposed to work.
Yeah, obviously. Somehow the obvious way things are supposed to work is not ever the way that is the path of least resistance, apparently.
No.
But so anyways, to get into the dots, you got a couple dots.
I do got some dots.
Okay, dot 1. This is the lizard. Our story is so pretty now. Jesus, I see it. It's done. For the most part, like as far as the outline's done, I think. So you got the lizard, and the lizard starts by presenting the will, just the individual will. So now what this would actually be in reality, an example of this would be the lizard's will to survive, right? This is just one facet of his will, one facet of the will. It is just his personal desire to not die. Obviously, he has more desires than just that, but that is the one which takes over most of his conscious existence, considering his life is a monotonous battlefield. And this this will it manifests as a thought texture, because there really aren't individual parts of the will. The will is just the underlying thing which motivates you towards anything. So whenever a camel is dehydrated, right, and it needs to fill itself up with water, it's not going to have an individual will which wants water. Its will is obviously going to motivate it towards water, and that is going to represent itself as a thought texture of misery, which can only be quelled by water. So the will, the first dot, is just all of your motivations, the source of all motivations, you at the most fundamental level. You can kind of put that however you want. It's a little confusing, and I really feel like it shouldn't be. I feel like I'm maybe making it too confusing with my explanation right now. It's literally just like anything that comes in your head is going to be a result of your will, right? It's not like a thing. It's not like an individual thing. It's not like a will is this. It's more just like, you kind of know what I mean, man. It's like just anything which you want. That's obviously a product of your underlying desire, your will, the thing which motivates you in individual directions. Like I said, I feel like people can understand that, but I feel like the way I explained it, people are gonna be thinking, well, I don't even get what he just said, even though it's like it should be relatively intuitive. I think most people have an intuitive understanding of the thing I was just talking about. Just really your sense of self, but not any individual perception of yourself, not thoughts or words that come from your sense of self, but like the underlying source of self, which all the individual machinations, all of the individual thoughts which call themselves yourself, you know what I mean? All of the labeled language which arises from the self is that will, that just the bare essence of you, the thing which all those thoughts arise from, right? You kind of get what I'm saying?
I think Carl Jung would just call that the self.
Yeah, the self. I'm sure the superego or some fucking gay Freudian term that I used to know explains it. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's 9 different ways to explain it in psychology, and they all somehow fail to do it as good as the religious definition.
Uh-huh.
But the point is that you've got that will, that thing at the core of your being, and it can obviously distill itself into many different forms. You can have it as so yet again, we'll go with the lizard, right? The lizard, uh, he wouldn't actually um don't mistake my initial words for thinking that he has an individual will to strive in the war, because like I said, the individual desires, the experience of the will, um they are not the will itself, and the will cannot be separated. The will is the core of your being, right? So the lizard has his will, and one manifestation of this will is to not die in the war. And so that manifestation, and all manifestations are going to be thought textures. So dot one is the self or the will, desire, however you want to put it. Um, and then you have step two, which is thought textures. So obviously, just think about your daily life. I'm sure everyone has their own representation of this. You desire, or you have an underlying will, right? Yourself wants, and then that want represents itself as sugar for a lot of people, right? Maybe video games. Sometimes it's not unhealthy. Sometimes your body tells you need water, right? That is another a thought texture that so you're going to have uh the will which motivates everything, the will which is responsible for all of your individual desires, and then you're going to have the actual individual desires themselves, which are going to be um experiences. We ready? Yep. Middle school. High school. Okay. Um. Okay. So the individual. So you're going to have the will, and then you're going to have the what's that sound? Weird. So anyways, you're gonna have the will. So you're gonna have the will, the underlying, the core, the thing which motivates all things, and then you're going to have all of the little individual uh instantiations of that. And those instantiations will all be thought textures. So anger will be a result of the will, hatred, love, the feeling of unity, feeling of separation, all dualities, all, you know what I mean? All things, all the feeling of being in Walmart, the feeling of giving your mother a hug, the feeling of wanting to scream at your father, the feeling of wanting to drive a fork through your teacher's head. All of these things are all um, thought textures which arise from this fundamental will, right? Um, and
And this is the bottom layer.
well, so the bottom layer is the self, and then the second layer is thought textures. So you have bubble one, self, bubble two, thought textures.
Okay. Bubble where which one's bubble one?
What do you mean?
Which bubble of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 bubbles is the bubble one?
Well, we're going to read it left to right, and it would obviously be the bottom of the pyramid because top of the pyramid is just so
All right, and so the second bubble, the thought texture bubble, is that above it or is that to the right of it?
no, it's obviously to the right. Um, you have to go across because the way the pyramid works, um, is the individual, yeah, each individual layer is its own framework, right? The you like it is all one framework, but then um, also there each individual layer serves as its own framework independently of this wider framework. Um, so the bottom layer was the hand, right? The bottom layer of the pyramid is the hand. Um, but it's also the bottom layer of the pyramid. It's both at the same time. So
And
you are
so thought textures is to the right? Oh, it's on the same layer?
yeah, yet again, just think about the hand, right? Think about the hand, right? The hand is the bottom layer of the pyramid. So if the hand is the bottom layer of the pyramid, then you know the layer, you know the steps of the hand. Well, those steps are also going to be the bottom steps of the pyramid, and it would have to be the first five going left to right because that's how you would read the hand. It would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'd read it like any other thing you read. It would be left to right.
Yeah. All right.
Are my fucking headlights on? Jesus, I can't see anything. What is going on? What the fuck is going on?
And what?
This retard just fucking sat there. There's a four-way stop, and now everyone was confused by the time I had to leave. Some dense motherfucker pulled up first, and then just stopped, and then started going whenever I finally pulled out because he wouldn't fucking go. Actual retard footage. Um. Anyways, the so you have layer one, which is the fucking god, most annoying sound of the goddamn world. I've got one hand holding the phone, the other on the fucking steering wheel. It's raining. Um. Piss off. Bitch. Lexi, roll up that window or whatever the fuck is going on. Or roll down some other one. I'm assuming I just now became unlistenable to, correct, Trevor?
I can still hear you a little bit.
A little bit. This is fine, right? This is pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay, just stop this recording and then restart. I want you to do that.
All right.
Okay, so you have layer one of the pyramid. Layer one of the pyramid is the self. This is going to be all of your desires are obviously a result of this core, this the most fundamental, the most reduced version of yourself. It's going to be the same thing which motivates all of your actions over time. And now, so obviously, you can say, well, a part of myself is I would never kill somebody. That is a part of me that is core to my being. That's a part of me that makes me me. But then you could go back into a point in your life when you were a child where I mean maybe you had different views. Maybe you like, for instance, I'll use Christianity for example in the exact same spot. Let's say you think that Christianity is an extremely important part of your being. Well, you could go back to a point in your life where you would still be you. You would obviously still be your biological form, and you would not hold those same beliefs, but that thing is still you. And so this fundamental thing is the self. You could kind of call it the biological substrate, but it's a bit more complex than that because it isn't just it doesn't mean definitionally your biology. That's not what it's referring to. It is referring to the the core of all desires resulting from biology. So like the um what is this person doing, Lexi? Why can I not run these people off the road? Um so you have this fundamental level of yourself, the thing which wants to mount a rocket propelled grenade launcher to the top of your car and blow these people into fucking shrapnel. Um that, right, that thing which desires that, um maybe the exact same thing which when you were a kid would have never desired anything like that and thought that anyone who would desire something like that was evil. Um, but those were both you. Uh, and the reason they were both you is because they both came from that core producer of desires. And now, maybe right now, you pride yourself on your intellect. But if you get smashed over the head with a sledgehammer and you end up in a hospital bed, all the things which produce those misfigured dreams will still come from the same core, the same fundamental desire which has made you you since you were a child, even if it doesn't identify with any of the traits that you currently think make up the important parts of yourself. Uh, and so this self, this will, this desire, this core of your being, whatever gay shit you want to call it, that's step one. Step two is all of the individual um, sort of interpretations of this fundamental desire. So, like all of the instantiations of the fundamental desire will be experienced as a thought texture or a sort of emotional picture, a sort of set of data that you experience directly. So I said that a little too complicated when really everyone understands this. If your mother throws a phone book at your head, it's not going to make you very happy. Your fundamental will, step one, right, is going to create a step two, which is an experience, a particular emotion, a particular thought texture, um, representing fragments of that will. So if someone gets you a gift that you were wanting a meaningful gift which is going to allow you to do things that will make you happier in your future, right? Then obviously, in that moment, you are going to get a thought texture where your underlying will is going to make you experience. I'm going to go with the word pleasure, but it's deeper. It's a more nuanced, um, sort of context holding. It's like similar to a painting or a piece of art, in the sense that it represents a larger set of underlying emotions. That's what a thought texture is. You can't really paint the thought texture into a box of happy, mad, sad, angry. Like it's just that's a retardedly simple framework to view it through. It's like viewing numbers through counting on your fucking hands. They're more complex than that. And whenever you understand that, then you understand the nature of thought textures automatically. Thought textures aren't some rigid philosophical category or some independent thing that can be measured. It's just the nuanced version of emotions, right? Whenever you whenever your mother dies, you're not just happy or mad or sad. It's going to be some bizarre combination of every single possible emotion. You know what I mean? You're going to be happy for the moments that you shared with her. You're going to be destroyed at the fact that you'll never get to experience things. If you hated your mother before, then you may feel some sense of joy at that. You may feel some sense of finality, some sense of release, some sense of inner peace for your inner child who was abused by that person. And that may be wrapped up in a sense of loss and a sense of grief that you were never able to fix those things, even if they were never your fault, that you were never able to rekindle that relationship. It's never going to fall into some silly, straight category, some defined, rigid form. It's always going to be a very nuanced set of experiences. And that is a thought texture, right? And so that's step two. Thought textures are going to be the very specific personal experience that results from the will wanting certain things. Um, the will wants water, then that will represent itself as the thought texture of being miserably thirsty, which will make you seek it out. So that's step one, and then step two. Step one, self desire. Step two, thought textures. Uh, Experiences, however you want to put it. And then you have step three, which is the understanding that those experiences and that desire is inseparable from the environment. So if you want water, well, then what you want is H2O, or you know what I mean, however you want to put it, there's a series of quantum particles arranging themselves into the atoms required to make water that you then experience. You know what I mean, whatever elongated scientific definition you want to give, at the bare bones um, objective understanding, water is not. Jesus, everything's going on tonight. We got the whole fucking squad out: police, ambulances, retards, grandmas in my way. So step three is um, the understanding that you're going to need physical, replicable patterns to be able to achieve thought textures. So obviously, the first time you learn this is uh, I like sugar. I want ice cream. My mother can buy me ice cream. Ice cream is good. Ice cream makes me happy. I want ice cream. Or however you experience that in your country or your time or whatever, fucking grain or sweet rolls or whatever shit you eat. The point is that desire for the physical um, goes deeper than just desire for objects. We see it manifest in our culture as desire for, a Bugatti, fucking sports car, money, a yacht, you know what I mean, a fancy wedding, whatever retarded bullshit um, we think is going to satisfy us materially. Um, and then it also goes deeper than that, because not only are the things that we desire material, but fundamentally the desires themselves are material, because you understand that whenever you break apart the pieces of a human, you see that all of our states, all of our emotions, all of our happiness, all of our depression, all of our misery is just a specific set of neurochemicals, replicable neurochemicals. And if someone can, Jesus, God, these people, they're driving. And if someone can replicate the set of neurochemicals which are responsible for the experience, and they can replicate the experience, you could say independent of you, or however you want to say it. I love having children walking on my right and cars on my left. Thank you. Yes, please give me more intense situations to drive through. Put a fucking toddler in front of me, why don't you? Hey, someone please push a stroller in front of me. So you have the biological, not even biological, the physical, the material stroller with an infant inside of it being pushed in front of your car. And that is a replicable material circumstance. And that replicable material circumstance is capable of causing panic every time. And if you could make the brain, you can go, if you could make the brain perceive, toodaloo, a stroller in front of your car by pressing particular neurocorrelate buttons, then you could induce the same panic without the stroller. Because the stroller is not independent or real. The stroller is merely a set of material phenomena inducing a particular experience. And whenever you understand that deeper, you understand that all desires are only a particular set of brain material. Meaning, it isn't just that you want material. It isn't just that you desire material. It isn't just that the things that you desire will be particular sets, particular patterns of material. It's that everything down to the most minute desire only arises out of a particular series of matter in the first place. And so you are not independent from matter. You are entirely interdependent with it. Your entire existence and experience of existence depends on states of matter. And whenever you understand that, you understand step 4, the fourth step on the bottom rung of the pyramid, which is that you don't exist, and that you aren't independent. You aren't real. These thoughts that you're having are not things. They're not separate. They're not something which wants something else. They're not a soul which wants series of matter. They're not a creation of conscious God testing you. They're just states. Just states of matter. And every state which thinks it's a state of matter is just a state of matter replicating the thing thinking that it is itself. And that is its own experience, its own understanding, its own state of matter, right? It can induce particular feelings. But even those feelings are not you. Even the feeling which is the self-understanding that the self is not real is still not the self. You don't transcend the lack of foundational separation that never comes back, no matter how many times you go under the surface, no matter how meta you get. The self never arises back out of the matter which bores it. And that makes you understand step 5, final step, which is that it's not just that you don't exist, it's that you exist as everything. You are so inseparable from everything else that you are everything else. You were never independent, and the illusion of independence was just a part of the multiplicity of the one, the greater system which experiences all things. That each individual moment of perceived separation was just a necessary aggregate of the greater perceiving unit, bad way to put it, the greater um, perceiver. You could just leave it at that if you wanted to do sort of consciousness route. Um, the point is that step 5 is the understanding that it's not that you don't exist. It's not that you aren't real. Obviously, you know what I mean? You drive a fucking knife through your arm, you're gonna feel real pretty quick, no matter how nihilist you want to sit there and be about it. Um, you're real in some way. Just because the self, the ego, isn't real doesn't mean you're not real. And if things are real, if there is a real, and the thing which thinks it's me isn't that, then what is? It must be everything. And the thing which thinks it's me must just be a result of that everything. And therefore, I must be truly one with everything. And even my separation is just an instantiation of that everything. And that's what the lizard preaches, right? So the lizard, he goes through the war and he goes, okay, so there's me, right? And I've had all of these different forms. I've been a baby who just wanted milk. I've been a man who just wanted freedom. And then I've been a mass murderer on my own planet. And then I was a mass murderer on an intergalactic level for someone who I think are the good guys, but who the fuck am I to say? Who knows anymore? And like all of those are still me. All of those are still a result of this fundamental will, which has existed my entire life. And there are all of these thought textures which result from this will, right? There was the thought texture of initially feeling a connection with my mother, with my father, with my parents, my family, with my um, the place where I grew up, right? The place where I made formative memories. It initially started with those thought textures, and then it progressed into the thought textures of anger instead of peace, the desire for change instead of the attachment to what once was, the desire to protect that place so that your children, your propagation can have the same experiences that you did. And so that transformed into the desire to protect those old memories. And now that same love, that same connection turns into anger and violence. And then that turns into um, fear and glory and victory and watching your brothers die on the battlefield. And then that turns into watching things that you couldn't have even imagined existing for most of your life, watching them form into your dead brethren, brethren which you couldn't have even imagined existing on their own, just to find a better way to kill you. You understand that if you die, you could be adapted into the greater system which is coming for everything which you've ever cared about, and things which you didn't even know that you should care about, things which you can still barely care about, even though they're bigger than anything that you used to think was important. Um, And so he understands that all of those thought textures are results of this underlying desire. And then he understands that the all of these desire, all of these thought textures are just results of different states of matter. He understands it the same way that when he goes to the cafeteria on Friday and he's disappointed that they're not serving fried chicken, you know what I mean, or whatever his fucking planet equivalent is, fucking acid slop or whatever. Um, and instead they're serving Michelle Obama whole wheat bread and whatever his planet's equivalent is, cricket legs or whatever. Um, that's just a state of matter. The difference between what is good and what is bad there is just a state of particles or whatever the numbers, however you want to put it, code. But it is still preferable. And in the same way, the difference between his planet existing and not existing, his biology being able to propagate and not being able to propagate, his species living on in the universe, the freedom to be interdependent from this um, cybernetic insectoid race. Um, it's all just states of matter. It's all just physical states. In the same way, ice moving between um, vapor and ice and water, it's all still H2O. In the same way, It's all still material, even if it feels like the death of a child, compared to the eating of slop. Um, and from there, he understands that he doesn't really exist in any meaningful way. All of this war and destruction and horror and elation and revelation and religious experience and defeat and victory, it's all relative and temporary and material and interdependent, and that anything which claims to be separate from the greater dance is truly just another movement within it. And that obviously leads him to step 5, which is that he is the dance itself. There is no individual movements, there are no moves, there's only the dance. The dance forms in a million different ways, but you have no choice but to keep moving. And in his case, that means putting one sight in front of the other and blowing off insect heads, or blowing off wasp heads in the fucking camper, or death.
Does he do it well enough that he enjoys the war, or does it just
I don't think he enjoys
negate
it.
the suffering of it?
I don't think he enjoys it at all. I don't think he's that suffering either. I don't think he's like whiny. I don't think he's like, "Oh, this sucks." I think it's just like he's just so unbelievably like. You got to think. It's like his perspective was ruined. Like he started the war as a world war for his like home country, and now he's like fighting insectoids. Like in other words, by like halfway through the war, his home planet's destroyed, his family's dead, his planet's dead, his country's dead. Like what the fuck is he fighting for? Just at this point, it's just because if not, you'll just starve to death. No one else is gonna fucking take care of you. It's like either you fight or our resources go elsewhere. It's like it's the only thing left to do. So I don't